November 18th, Fujian ship again to start the fifth sea trial. Because the sea trial before the Fujian ship in the harbor pool rest and recuperation for a long time, coupled with the first four sea trial has been to high-speed navigation, small radius turn, sea reversing, formation communication, and so on. Sea test basic project all done. So many people speculate that Fujian ship, the fifth sea test, is very likely to be the first fixed-wing carrier aircraft takeoff and landing test. Half a month after the sea, December 3rd, Fujian ship ended the fifth sea trial successfully returned to port. Although the same very low-key, but a set of photos show that Fujian ship deck finally appeared tire marks, has completed the carrier aircraft on board the ship test. Photos clearly visible 4 blocking cable has been installed. There are 2 very obvious tire friction marks on the deck, indicating that Fujian ship has completed the blocking landing test. Of course, there may be netizens who think that a carrier aircraft touching the ship to fly again will also leave tire marks. But Fujian ship, this time the situation is obviously not. Fujian ship on the deck of the tire tracks long enough. According to satellite imagery, Fujian ship in the Bohai Sea during the sea trial. The deck had at least 4 carrier aircraft situation, while Fujian ship out of the deck, but only carries a full-size model of 2 carrier aircraft, which also indicates that the carrier aircraft in the Fujian ship deck after landing also stayed. And with the ship will inevitably take off. After all, the carrier cannot take the carrier aircraft back to the shipyard. As for the catapult takeoff, from the photo can also be seen on the bow deck friction marks. Half a month of sea trial Fujian ship successfully realized the catapult takeoff, block landing. Carrying J-35 and Airborne Police 600 when going out, only Airborne Police 600 was still on the deck when coming back, so it could be predicted that the corresponding physical aircraft were tested. If these 2 types of carrier aircraft successfully take off and land, it also marks the Fujian ship basically meet the design requirements. The fifth sea trial of Fujian ship is a bit special. In the harbor rested for 2 months before moving. It should be carefully prepared from the time to project certainly to test the carrier aircraft. Only before everyone guessed, Fujian ship is after all a model of electromagnetic catapult aircraft carrier. Displacement is as high as 80,000 tons. In the history of the Navy belongs to the unprecedented model. Plus, catapult carrier aircraft is also the first time. So for careful consideration of the carrier test may be divided into 2 times, such as the first time by the J-15T plus Air Police 600 team. If the 2 types of carrier aircraft to complete the test on the ship, then the Fujian ship will initially have the strength of the similar Nimitz class aircraft carrier. J-15T and J-15D carrier aircraft, the first official announcement in the past Zhuhai Air Show, and the Navy's dual carrier formation also publicly display them for the first time. It can be seen that although the J-15T seems to be customized for the Fujian ship, it actually belongs to the sliding catapult, both compatible, due to the prototype J-15 in the Liaoning and Shandong ship service for many years, has been quite mature and reliable at any time can be on the ship. Plus, a lot of testing has been done on the land base, so all it takes is a transition from Liaoning to Fujian, which means flying to Fujian and catapulting it. If all goes well, then the next possible turn J-35 stealth fighter. After all, this is a 5th-generation shipborne aircraft. The global scope of the US F-35 can be compared. And the positioning of the Fujian ship determines the importance of the J-35 against the US Ford-class aircraft carriers. In the performance of the need to realize the standard, then the J-35 and Air Police 600 team is essential. Get J-35 stealth fighters to support. Single sea air combat Fujian ship is second only to the United States Ford class. The biggest gap between the 2 is the tonnage and power, but these in the next generation of aircraft carriers will be resolved. Gap is not big. In contrast, the J-15T is a twin-engine heavy-duty aircraft that can take off smoothly from Liaoning and Shandong. Not to mention the smaller and lighter twin-engine medium-sized aircraft like the J-35. Even if the same deployment to the skidding carrier can also take off, you can refer to the previous J-35 appeared in the Liaoning ship deck, changed to Fujian ship direct ejection out more simple. And during the sea trial, the network appeared suspected J-35 carrier aircraft in the sea flight photos, as well as the Air Marshal 600 put-down landing gear flight photos. It is very likely that is in the ship test. If the catapult test goes well, Then there will be several consolidation sea trials next. The cycle should be short and frequency will be higher. Not surprisingly, next year can be delivered to the Navy to use. Then the Navy will have 3 aircraft carriers at the same time. Fujian ship displacement of more than 80,000 tons. About the estimated maximum number of aircraft can be up to 70, including 24 J-15T fighters, 68 J-15D electronic warfare aircraft, 24 J-35 stealth fighters, as well as 46 Air Police 600 and 810 straight 20 straight 8 helicopters. In addition, there are 56 shipborne drones. The comprehensive combat power has been the world's top level.